there, and welcome back to Building the Boys. We now have issue 61 of Hachette's Build the Titanic. In this one, this is a bit of a strange one because it's quite labour intensive, but it doesn't make a humongous impact on what we're doing. We are nearing the end of the deck that we've been working on. So we're building more lifeboats, we're putting more davits on, but we will be screwing one of the funnels into place, and we are light bleed protecting I believe it's the second class entrance. Yeah, so we'll be applying the stickers like we did in the last one. So it's quite a fiddly job, and again, it's quite involved, but it needs to be done. But it's quite labour intensive, but it does make a huge impact. So by the time we come to the end of this one, it's not a massive impact on the deck. But it is what it is. What I am happy to tell you is in this month's pack that we've got, so we're going all the way up to 64, we do get more hull that people have been screaming out for. Now, I thought it hadn't been that long since we did hull, and I looked at it, it's 9 months. It's 9 months since we touched the hull, which is actually remarkable. And as we are nearing the halfway point of this, and we've got no real hull built, it is high time we started cracking on with that hull, so it's good to see that that's coming. At the end of this one, we'll be having our Titanic talk, and we'll be talking about the other vehicle that was lost on that night. It wasn't just the Titanic, which was a classic vehicle. Another one was lost as well. And we will be talking about exactly what that was and where it is now. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps the channel massively, and we just love having you around, man. We are going all the way to the end on this one, so join us on that journey all the way up to 140, where we have this beautiful, fully working Titanic. Without further ado, let's get this open, let's have a look at the pieces, and let's get into it. Okay, so here is everything that comes in 61. This is new tape here, and they don't normally use this sort of tape. Let's have a look at what we've got. Now, again, it won't be a lot. I know it's not a lot that's in here. Well, I say that. So those are the stickers that will be going inside of the second class entrance to block out the bleed, reflect the lights. What have we got here? So here we've got lifeboats, cutters. We've got, again, these foam pads will block out the light because, again, I know there's this big urge that everybody wants every porthole lit, but trust me, you can kill something with light. You can have too much light coming from a model and it looks terrible. There we go, there's lifeboats there. What do we have in this one? In this one we have got, there we go, that's what we have in this one, davits. And then finally, I don't even know what that is. Oh, there we go. Those are our davits. I'm not seeing screws, which is a concern, so I'm guessing we're using screws from an earlier pack. Right, so let's have a look at what we're doing. Okay, so the first thing it's asking us to do is take these foam pads here. So we're going to take this one here. Now, this is weird, right, what they're asking us to do, but this is what they're asking us to do. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to trust them, so they give me a reason not to. They're asking us to cover this bulb with this foam pad, which is fine. If that's what they want us to do, that's what we'll do. So that's that one covered. It seems weird to me, but that's what they're asking. And then we're doing the exact same thing with this one here, and it's going over this bowl, because again, I kind of get this, and I understand this to be an ass, and I know this is gonna not sit well with a lot of you, but I keep saying it. This isn't a lamp. You want a very subtle light coming off of this. You don't want this thing glowing. It's going to look nuts if you do that. You want a very subtle light, a very calm light. You don't want this thing glaring like you can see it from space. That's not what you're going for. You want subdued lighting, which again is, I know I'm drilling my ports out because okay, that's what you want to do, but you're just going to get, okay. You can kill a model with light, you really can. So use it sparingly. So I don't know what this is going to do to this, but I guess we're going to find out. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to block out the light bleed on this section here, which is the second class entrance. So let's crack on with that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to light bleed proof this. So flipping this one over, this is our second class entrance. Working on this side first. We're going to take our reflective sticker here. This is for reference. If you're looking at your sheet, it's that one there, so that'll be number 1. There is a guide inside. I might have to tweezer this, I think. Yeah, almost definitely. Almost definitely, because with these big meat hooks of mine, I'm never going to get that in. Now, this is a fiddly nuisance bloody job, but ultimately, it'll look good. It'll help. But wowzers, it's fiddly. As I said, this one is a labour-intensive one, but there's not a lot of impact done. But it all counts. It all needs to be done. It all works. Oh God, look at the state of that one. Yeah, that's bad. Right, I'm gonna have to off camera this one, tweeze that into the right position. Right, so I've got that one in and the other one as well. It's a bit of a bugger, that, and I'll tell you why. This is one section in particular, so you have to get this sticker right behind this tiny little gap here whilst threading it all the way down. It's not the easiest thing to do, but again, I mean, it'll look good when it's done. And it avoids all that light bleed that will happen. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to install another one of these stickers, and this should be a lot easier. We are going to put one in here and one in here. So I'll get those in place and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so we've got those ones installed as well. And then on this side, we have, I've gone ahead and done these. There's one that goes here. Now, there's two that have to slot between here. They're a bloody nightmare. They're really, see, even that one, I'm not happy with that. That's ridiculous. Having to fit these into this tiny little gap is, it's not the easiest thing to do. I've got to smooth that one down. Yeah, that's rough. But that's done. So now we're going to actually fix this to the deck. Okay, so now our second class entrance is light bleed protected. It is going to sit over here like so. There we go, pop that down. And they're asking us to screw it in place with HP screws, which came with last month's issue 60. I did keep all of those. I'm very thankful for that because I was panicking I'd thrown them out, and I'm thinking, no, I wouldn't do that. I didn't do that. I've got them here. So these are the HP screws. Pop those out. It's 2 HP screws that are going to go in now. Again, be very careful when you're handling this. It immediately fell off and a bunch of other stuff. Oh, that's the domes. The domes fell off. So we're putting in 2 HP screws here and here. I'm going to get that done. Okay, so I've used a clamp here just to hold this in place. Now, I'm not doing 2 in 1 or anything like this because it's just going into plastic. And I mean, ultimately, we're just holding this in place. There's no real reason you couldn't have glued this section of the deck in place, but I chose to do it this way. Alright, so one more, and then we're done. I hate having to keep turning this deck up like this. I wish we'd assembled the sections, then screwed it all together. It seems a bit mad doing it this way, and I think they're in... There you go, so that slip. So they're inviting breakage. But, oh God. Yeah, it's a concern that this is how they're asking us to do this. I keep having to flip this deck over. There we go. When we no longer have to flip this deck, I'll be happy. Was that one in? Tighten that one. There we go. That's done. Let's take a look. There we go. So that's that one screwed in place. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the same thing with reflective stickers. I'm working on the funnel 4. We're going to be prepping the smoking room as well for installation into this. So let's crack on. So this is funnel 4 that we're working on. This is the one we built last month. Again, I just find this weird that we're doing this now. So we're going to put in light bleed protection in here, 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 and here, and just protect the whole thing. But wouldn't that not have been easier before we attached a bloody funnel to it? They've picked some very odd, very odd running order to this. I don't know. We're going to use these ones. They're going to go along here, and we're going to block this out. So I'm going to get that done. We'll take a look at it, and then we'll get the smoking room ready for installation of the deck. Okay, so we've got this one fully foiled up. We put all the foil stickers in, and it wants to add another foam sticker to this, and it's going to go over the 2 central lights here and here. So we're going to pop that just on there like that. Again, this is going to dull these lights out. It's weird, I know. You're thinking, why am I blocking these lights out? You're not blocking them out. It's still going to light up. But that's, I don't know, that's what they're asking us to do. This is what they want us to do. So we oblige. That's what we do. That one's not on string. Let's straighten that up. But that's, yeah, So the next thing we do is we're going to fit this to the base of the smoking lounge. Let's bring that up. So taking our smoking lounge base, we are going to thread the wire through, and that's going to go straight through the centre, through here, and we're going to thread that one down, and it's going to sit over like so. Once that's, that's in, I'm going to turn this one over, and we're going to hold this in place with 6 AP screws. I believe it's 6 AP screws, maybe 4. Just double check. No, 6 AP screws. Now, again, you got these in a previous issue, so we have 6 of these to use. We then are going to install this to the deck. Now, I thought we'd already done this, but it's because mine was already rested up like that. But we haven't actually fixed a single funnel to the deck yet. Not officially, not properly. I know we've been doing our bits and pieces, but no, officially we haven't attached one to the deck. This is the first one going on. I think that's one. Don't over tighten these because again you want into plastic. You need to be firm, you need to be held, but don't go mad because you're gonna damage it. It's plastic. You don't want to do that. So they'll cut their own thread when they bite. That's it. So you see, you're happy there. Yeah, so it's 4 AP screws. So I said 6. It's not 6. It's bloody 4. So it's 4 AP screws in this one, 6 in the next one. Right. That's that one. And finally one more, and this one will be done. There we have it. Let's flip it over and have a look. Okay, so bringing the deck over. Now we've screwed this to the lounge there. What we're going to do is take in this wire here. This is going to fit into this hole here. So that wire is going to thread through there. All the way through. And then we're going to pop our deck into place. There we go. And now we're going to turn this. Again, there goes the bloody dome again. And there goes the dome cover. We're going to put 6 AP screws in here, 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 and here. Now again, AP screws came with pack 58, so you should have plenty of them. I hope you held on to them because they weren't used for anything in that issue, but they gave them us for this issue, bizarrely, just to make losing them a little more common. Right, so let's get this screwed in. I hate having this thing up on its side like this. Okay, so that's 1. 2. Right, I'm going to get the other 4 done. We're going to flip it over, take a look. I'm dropping screws bloody everywhere. Yeah, that stuck to my arm. Okay, so having done that, we've got a little bit of wiring to do here. We're going to take this one here, and it's going to plug into this one here. There we go. Let's get that right in. Now, taking our test board, we are going to check if this now lights. Hopefully it does. So this one here, and we're going into this one here. So I'm hoping we light up, but I'm hoping we can just leave this wire in after. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, good. So that one's lit. That should also have lit the one above. So let's flip this over and see if our light's on there as well. It is. There we go. Aha! So we're happy. So we've got 2 rows of lights running now. Good. Good, good, good. Excellent. Right, so I'm happy with that. Now, do we block out any of these lights? Because I'm guessing that's what it's going to ask us to do next. No, we don't. We're moving on to davits. Excellent. So we've gone ahead and made the davits. So we've got 3 of the double arms and 2 of the single arms. I'm not going to miss building davits, I can tell you that. We're going to install them onto the deck now. Okay, so our double arm davits are going to fit in along these 3 here. So again, you've got a fat and a thin peg, so you're going to know which way around they're going to go because they're only going to go in one way. Snug as hell, so it's up to you whether or not you glue. As I've said, I'm not using any glue that I feel is unnecessary on this because I don't want I just don't want tons of glue on it. If you don't need tons of glue, why put tons of glue on it? And if they're fit and firm, it's going to be in a case. No one's going to be touching it. Seems excessive, seems overkill. So that's that one. It's me trying to fit that the wrong way around. There we go. So that's our third one in there. No, this one ain't going with that fight. It's always the last one. You ever notice that? Don't know what's going on with this. I think there might be some build up or something on that because it's not. That one's not fitting it. Yeah, it is. It's got a little. Okay, got to sort that. All right, hopefully. There we go. There we go. And then the single arms, same thing. So our single arms are going to go in here like so. And then the other one's going to go on there like so. And again, I'm not using glue. I don't need to. These are snug. I don't need to use it. Now we're going to flip it again. I'm going to install another piece into the deck. Okay, so flipping it again, we're looking at this hole here, which is right in the middle of our deck. And we're taking this cover, and this is going to fit in there. That's it. So we're going to flip this one back over. Okay, so the last thing to do is lifeboats. We've got two cutters here. These are the little ones. We're going to start with those. That's too big. Cutters have their own unique tarpaulins with no holes in them. That's one done. That's two. I do like building lifeboats. As much as I don't like building davits, I quite like building the lifeboats. They're nice and simple. Here we go. Let's get these parts over. And again, this is easy enough. So we fit the tarp to it. And again, they've said don't glue these. I don't know why, but they've said don't. So, you know, don't. There's one. That one. Put that one in place. I would imagine the reason why we're not gluing these is because you may need to move these, adjust these to get them to fit the davits. If you've glued it in place, well, that puts you out of luck, doesn't it? So we'll see. So those two. Am I missing two lifeboats? Because I seem to have two tarps and I'm missing two lifeboats. Let me take a look. Yeah, let's bring up two from the old issues. Right. Okay, so there we go. So you have to use two of your previous lifeboats that didn't get these parts. I thought we'd done them all. So that's that one. And then there's this one here. So this is going to go in there like so. Yeah. Oh. This is the only time I've had this problem. That one won't go in. How weird. Yeah, it is. There it is. There we go. And that is all there is to do in this stage. Let's have a chat. So that's 61 complete, and that was quite full on, which I think is good because I know we're doing some whole sections what aren't going to be quite full on. We are now accruing bits like don't throw these stickers away. You're going to need those. The screws that you got to hold on to everything at this point because they're going to. It's when they're trying to get you to go back 2 months ago or 3 months ago to parts. You're like, bloody hell, really? So yeah, it's a tricky one, that one. So just make sure you keep everything. I mean, I have my Titanic kind of box that I keep all this stuff in. But that's it for the build instructions for this one. If you are just sticking around for the build instructions, thank you for stopping by. Please remember to both like and subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're one of the thousands of viewers that haven't subbed yet, go ahead and sub it. It means the world to us, it really does. And it means you'll never miss an issue because we're going all the way to the end of this one, 140. Those of you sticking around for our Titanic talk, Titanic wasn't the only vehicle lost that night. There was another very expensive vehicle, and it was this one. So that is the Renault Type CB Coupe de Ville, and it is C9, sorry, Coupe de Ville, and it's an absolute beaut. And it was on board the Titanic when Titanic went down, and it was owned by William Carter. William Carter was a 36-year-old from Pennsylvania. He was very wealthy. He was the heir to a very large iron and coal fortune. And he and his family had travelled to Europe, and they'd basically been on a jolly, they'd been on a vacation for the best part of a year. They travelled in May 2011 on the Lusitania, and they'd been travelling around Europe where they purchased this car. They weren't alone, so it was William, his wife, his two children, their maid. They also had a chauffeur and his manservant, so there was a whole deck of them. So his chauffeur drove them around in this car. He bought it. It was very, very expensive. $5,000 that car cost, which in today's money is about $250,000. And they were enjoying their vacation so much that they had planned to leave on the 2nd of April, 1912, on the Oceanic. So they were going to return home on the Oceanic on, the Britannic, I believe. The Britannic? I might be wrong. So the Britannic or the Oceanic. They were going to return home on April the 2nd, but decided to stay for another week. Yeah, I'm rebooked to travel on board the Titanic, the new luxury liner, so why not end our vacation in style and drive our gorgeous car onto this luxurious ship. And that's what they did, and it very ill-fated that was. However, all of William's family survived. So William and his wife and the children got separated. So his wife, the two children, and the maid got on board a lifeboat and were saved. William and the men stayed behind, and it looked like they were going to perish. So William, the manservant, and the chauffeur stayed behind. William boarded the very last lifeboat, and he boarded it with Bruce Ishmael. So J. Bruce Ishmael got on board with William. Now, what causes some concern here for me is apparently William states he was with his manservant and his chauffeur at the time, and they were like, no, go be with your children. And the chauffeur's name was Augustus, so no, be with your children. So he took the lifeboat, which, okay. But it sort of kicks J. Bruce Ishmael's claim in the ass that he claims there was no one else that could have took the lifeboat. That's why he took it. He always maintains that at that point there was no one else, and I got on board, there was no one else around. This statement by William Carter kicks that apart, because clearly there was a manservant and a chauffeur there that could have took Ishmael's place. Now again, I've not said Ishmael should perish to the depths, and we all say how we'd react in a crisis, but I don't know. Again, it's one of those things where I think that for the head of White Star Line to get a place on Lifeboat when others didn't is a PR nightmare. We've always said that. But anyway, back to the car. It was claimed for insurance, so it was lost to the depths, and they did put an insurance claim through, and it paid out. So White Star Line did pay out indeed on the car, $5,000, which was one of, not the highest insurance claims that went through, and it did go through. They've looked for the car. So ever since they've been diving, they've been looking for the car. They've never found it. They've never found any evidence of the car. It was definitely on board. We know that it was on board. But they've never found it. And they probably never will, because realistically, the materials that car is made of, there can't be a lot left of it. I would imagine there's an engine, and there's probably a very, very destroyed frame at this point, because the thing you'll remember as well is where it was stowed, and it was stowed on the starboard cargo bay. To think that it just stayed where it was, that when, Titanic is shifting, it's listing to that way, and to think that it just stayed where it was is nuts. I mean, that thing probably went flying forwards. Everything behind it probably went smashing into it. So I can't see there being much left of that car. I might be wrong, and maybe one day when more of Titanic is exposed, maybe they'll find that vehicle. Maybe it'll be in great condition. I can't see it. I just can't. And how are you going to get that up? I mean, it's I don't know. But it's been a source of fascination for a lot of people wanting to find that Renault. They've really wanted to see it, and understandably so. But do I think they ever will? No, probably not. but it was a beautiful car, and it is used in James Cameron's Titanic. It is used. You do see it being loaded onto the car, and it is also where the fairly sleazy love scene, shall we call it, happens between Rose and Jack. I mean, it's more like the shower scene of a porno movie, that scene, if I'm honest. It's not really like, it's not that romantic. And as I've said, the movie Titanic, as much as I enjoy it, it is essentially a film about an old lady telling a group of people about when she hooked up on a ship 100 years ago. It's neither here nor there. That's all for this one. We'll be back very soon. We'll be building Hull. We'll be installing a Parts of the Kill, and I can't wait for that. So please tune in for that. We will be back very, very soon with that. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. Please remember to like and subscribe. And you can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. We'd love to hear from you. I will catch you very soon for 62.